So I'm going to talk a little bit tonight, not only about what I do, what I do because I do it, but also what booksellers do and why we do what we do. And I'm also going to have a story. So this last weekend I was in the county fair with my little kids, and a woman comes up to me and she introduces herself. She recognized me from the bookshop and loves Bookshop and wanted to thank me. She said, "I just want to thank you because my son was conceived at Bookshop Santa Cruz." And I have to say that this is not out of the realm of possibilities, right? And so we've had a number of weddings, we've had a woman who went into labor, and kind of my brain first went to the idea that in the 1960s we had a waterbed in the center of the store. And I really didn't want to go there, and it's downtown self-proclaimed living room. You never really know what's going on, and there's a lot of unusual experiences. And as a side note, if you ever want to hear the story about the nun in Full Habit who shoplifted hardcore erotica, I can tell you about that. But she quickly clarified, I mean my brain was going there very quickly, she quickly clarified that it was the idea of her son that was conceived at Bookshop Santa Cruz. And I really wanted to know what her story was, but I didn't ask her any more because it could have been that she read a book about infertility that changed the fate of her pregnancy, or it could be that she was walking through the store and saw her favorite children's book and thought, I want to have a child to share that with. Or it could be that she found a book on adoption that changed her idea of what her family could be. What you read and why you read it is a very personal decision, and so it doesn't really matter what it was that made her son come alive to her at Bookshop Santa Cruz. What matters is there was a book that changed her life. And so as booksellers, we do what we do because we know that for any transaction we do at the store, we have the opportunity to change a life, and there's nothing more important than doing that for kids. And I think we not only have an opportunity to do that, but we have an obligation, because if you look at the statistics, 33% of high school graduates will never read another book for the rest of their life. Or 85% of all juveniles who interface with the juvenile justice system are functionally illiterate. So we have an opportunity to change their lives and make them become readers. And that's why we do what we do. But there's something more to that than just books, because you can get books anywhere, right? So we think that magic between readers and books happen because of two other things. And one is that because we are a physical bricks and mortar bookstore, and the second is that we're located in a community like Santa Cruz. So first, for the bookstore, there is something about a bookstore where it's a place of discovery. Now, Jeff Bezos from Amazon has said his business strategy, he said this in many newspaper articles, was to collect data on affluent, educated customers, and by selling them books at cost. And then once he had that data, he could sell them other cheap things on the internet. And as a businesswoman, I'm kind of at awe at his business strategy. But what it means is, to him, books are a pathway to cheap diapers and TVs, right? And so the way we approach book selling in the middle of a community like this is that we're passionate actually about the books that you're going to read. And that's what we do. So our favorite moment of the day is when someone comes in and says, you know that book 10 years ago that had a green cover, and I think the woman's name started with a B, and it was about dolphins, but maybe about gorillas? That is the moment we wait for. We love those questions, because probably there's some bookseller in the store who read that 10 years ago who still carries around their dog-eared paperback from house to house to house to house because they love it so much and they just cannot believe that somebody else wants to read it. So there's something about the passionate booksellers that we have that makes that connection in the community. And then there's being in Santa Cruz, and many of you know the story of the earthquake in Bookshop, but I'm slowly learning as I'm hiring people that were born in 1994 or whatever, that a lot of people don't know the story. So, 75% of downtown was destroyed, including Bookshop Santa Cruz was condemned. And at first we were going to bulldoze it down, and finally my dad got the city to give us 48 hours to get the books out of the store. And we went on the radio and asked for volunteers, but this was during aftershocks, and they basically said, if you go into the building, you have to sign a liability waiver saying that you might die, the building might crumble down, and if so, the city wasn't going to come in and rescue anybody. It was just too dangerous. So he went on the radio and he asked people to help. And we didn't know what to expect, and the next morning we showed up and 400 volunteers were there signing waivers. So we do what we do to say thank you, because we tell each and every one of our employees that our customers not only buy books, it's not only a transaction, it's not only that connection, but they actually literally pulled us out of the rubble and saved us, and they continue to save us. So if I was going to explain book selling, I just want to read a quote by Jane Smiley here. So this is a quote that kind of sums up what book selling is. A bookstore is one of the few places where all the cantankerous, conflicting, alluring voices of the world coexist in peace and order. And an avid reader is as free as a person can possibly be, because she is free to choose among them. Thanks.